The next time you see someone buy a lottery ticket, I want you to watch them closely, because what you are witnessing is not just a simple game of chance. You are looking at a profound spiritual mirror. It reflects back a hidden truth about the person holding it, and about all of us. There is a deep, underlying reason why some people seem to walk through life perpetually blessed, while others, no matter how hard they try, always feel unlucky. The ancient masters of Shala knew this was not superstition or random fate. It is a law of energy, a silent conversation constantly taking place between your inner world and the outer universe. In this video, I will share with you 4 simple words, a verbal key rooted in centuries of spiritual training that can fundamentally shift this energetic conversation in your favor. Stay with me, because you are about to learn that life is always responding to you. Not to what you want, but to the person you are being in each moment. Welcome to the path of the Shaolin soul. If you walk this path with sincerity, everything in your world begins to change. Before the feet move, before the hand reaches out, before the words are ever spoken, the monks of old would ask one quiet, internal question: is my energy clean or chaotic? This is not a moral question. It is not about being a good or bad person. It is a question of spiritual physics. It is about clarity, about intention, and about presence, because every action you take, no matter how small, carries a vibration, and that vibration is a signal you send out to the world. A signal that determines what kind of response the universe will give you back. I once watched an old master refuse to accept an expensive gift. It was a beautiful, ornate box of rare tea brought by a wealthy merchant who was hoping to earn the master's favor and perhaps some spiritual shortcuts. The master smiled gently, placed his hand on the box for just a moment, closed his eyes, and then said softly, "It is not the tea that is heavy, it is your energy." The man was confused. He had come with hidden motives, with an aura of neediness, hoping to gain something in return for his gift, and the master felt it immediately, not in the man's polite words, but in the turbulent energetic field that surrounded him. Now, consider this in your own life. When you walk into a shop to buy a lottery ticket, what energy is moving you? Is it a feeling of playful excitement, of calm possibility, of clear intention? Or is it something else? Is it a quiet desperation, a feeling of deep lack? Is it the desperate hope that a sudden influx of money will fix the parts of your life that a lack of discipline has not? The energy behind the action is the action. This is a fundamental law. You can speak blessings with a bitter and resentful heart, and they will turn to ash on your tongue. You can pray from a place of sheer panic and then wonder why your life remains unchanged. But even one single step, taken with clean, scented, and coherent energy, has the power to move the entire path beneath your feet. So, before the ticket is purchased, before the important email is sent, before the difficult conversation begins, pause, take one conscious breath, feel your feet on the ground, and ask the one question the masters never skip: am I centered? Or am I grasping? Because when you chase life from a place of inner emptiness, you will only remain empty. But when you move from a place of inner stillness, even the unseen world begins to quietly arrange itself around you in harmonious response. Most people speak their desires like soft, uncertain wishes. They send them out into the world as if they are asking the sky for mercy, hoping that something outside of themselves will grant them favor. But the old teachings are clear. Do not ask. A line, the phrase, "I am already blessed," isn't some magic charm or a form of self-deception. It is a position, it is a stance, it is the way a trained and disciplined mind chooses to enter the world, with a sense of grounded steadiness, not desperate need, with a feeling of profound fullness, not gnawing hunger. In the Shaolin path, this is known as developing internal authority. It is the quiet, unshakable strength to claim a state of being before the outer proof of it has arrived. This is not arrogance. It is a state of profound clarity. The student who walks with a heart full of gratitude before the reward is ever given is the one who is most ready and able to receive it. This powerful idea echoes across many ancient cultures. In the Vedantic tradition, the teaching is simple. You are not lacking. You are not separate from that which you desire. The outer world is simply a projection, a mirror of your inner state. So, you must learn to speak not from a place of desire, but from a place of knowing. The moment you can genuinely say, "I am already blessed," you fundamentally shift the signal you are broadcasting to the universe. And life, which is always listening, hears that new signal. There is an old story of a monk who, during a time of great famine, was asked by the worried villagers why he looked so calm when the fields were barren. He replied with a serene smile, "Because the field of my mind is fertile, I have no doubt that something will grow." And sure enough, it did. A forgotten stash of grain was discovered in the monastery, not through a supernatural miracle, but through the monk's quiet, unwavering readiness. His state of being attracted a solution that was already there. To declare, "I am already blessed," is to plant a flag in the invisible realm of potential. It is to speak from the perspective of the mountain top, not from the bottom of the valley. And that shift in perspective changes everything. You stop chasing, and you start attracting, not because the world suddenly owes you anything, but because you have finally become the kind of person who can hold the blessings that are, and always were, on their way to you. In the end, the words themselves mean nothing if the inner posture isn't real. But when you mean them, when you say them with discipline, with presence, and with a trained heart, they stop being mere words. They become the beginning of all movement. A mind that feels empty will always reach. It will grasp, it will cling, and it will chase, because it operates under the powerful illusion that something out there, more money, more love, more success, will finally make it feel whole. But the masters teach a sobering truth. Emptiness only attracts more emptiness. It doesn't matter if you are chasing money, love, or spiritual enlightenment. If you are coming from a place of inner lack, you will only multiply the experience of lack in your life. That is why the phrase, "I am already blessed," is not about pretending you have something you don't. It is about correcting a faulty signal at its source. It is an act of profound spiritual realignment. The moment you say those words with presence, with your whole being, something tangible shifts inside you. Your breath deepens, the tension in your shoulders softens, the frantic energy of craving gives way to a deep, resonant calm. You are no longer searching, you are sitting in a state of enoughness, and that feeling, that quiet, internal fullness, begins to pull things toward you, not because you demanded it, but because you have finally become the kind of clean, whole vessel that life can joyfully pour its blessings into. There is a discipline to this, of course. It takes immense training to speak from a place of fullness when your bank account is low, or when your plans are failing, or when your heart is broken. But that is the entire test. The old monks would say, true power is shown not in controlling the storm, but in maintaining your stillness during the storm. They trained their students to fast, not just from food, but from desperation. They taught him to sit without reaching, to walk without asking, and in that state of non-grasping, blessings began to arrive, not because they begged for them, but because they became them. A beggar sends out the signal, I do not have. A magnet sends out the signal, I am already complete, and the world, ever responsive, always answers accordingly. So, when you say, I am already blessed, say it like a master. Say it like the truth you simply forgot but now. Finally, remember, let the words not just rise from your lips, but resonate from the very center of your being. Then, walk without hunger, move without chasing, and watch what finds its way to you. The more tightly you grip, the more life slips through your fingers. This is one of the oldest and most fundamental lessons of the universe. You can see it in nature, in relationships, and in the workings of your own mind. If you chase a bird, it flies away. If you sit still and offer your quiet presence, it may choose to land beside you. Eastern masters understood this principle deeply. They watched how craving creates tension. They observed how desire, when it is laced with fear and desperation, builds a field of resistance, not just in the mind, but in the energetic field around you. That which you pursue with frantic desperation begins to avoid you, like water pulling back from a grasping, clenched hand. That's why the discipline of non-chasing is so incredibly powerful. It is not passivity, it is precision. A martial artist does not lunge wildly at their opponent. That would be a foolish waste of energy. They wait, they breathe, they meet the moment not with brute force, but with a calm and centered readiness. That very same principle applies to attracting fortune, to finding love, to seizing opportunity. When you can move with calm expectation, the world reads your stillness as strength. There is a classic Zen story of a student who asked his master, "Master, how can I become enlightened?" The master simply replied, "Stop chasing it. It will come when your mind is quiet enough to receive it." A pool of still water perfectly reflects the sky and the moon, but the disturbed, churning surface distorts everything into a chaotic mess. So the question for you becomes, can you remain centered even when you want something deeply? Can you train your nervous system to stay soft and receptive while your vision for your life remains sharp and clear? That is true mastery. It is not the denial of your desire, but the liberation from its desperate grip. Want what you want, but do not beg for it. Stand like a mountain, walk like you already carry the blessing in your chest. Because when you no longer chase what is outside, what is meant for you starts moving its way toward you, not in chaos, but in silence and with an effortless grace. In the Shaolin tradition, money isn't seen as evil, nor is it worshipped. It is simply qi, or life force, in a material form. It is a neutral energy that is shaped and colored by the hands and the heart that hold it. And like all energy, it naturally follows the principles of balance, harmony, and integrity. If a vessel is cracked, water will inevitably leak from it. Similarly, if a person's energy is scattered, unstable, or full of hidden fear and greed, then money often becomes a curse, not a gift. It only sharpens the existing imbalance. The flaws that were once hidden become visible. The anxieties that were small grow loud. This is why the monks do not ask, "How can I get more?" They ask a much more intelligent question, "Am I ready to hold more?" There's a story of a student who prayed daily for great wealth. One morning, his master finally gave him a single coin, just one. The student looked at it, his face filled with disappointment. "Why only this?" he asked. The master replied, "Before anything sacred begins in the temple, there is no sound, no movement, only breath." The monks do not rush into their prayers or their rituals. They arrive, they settle, they sit in stillness until their inner world stops shaking, because in the ancient ways, stillness is not emptiness, stillness is readiness. It means your mind is no longer scattered across 1,000 worries. Your energy is gathered, focused, and your presence is enough. This is why before even the smallest ritual, offering incense, pouring tea, bowing at the altar, there is always a pause. This moment of grounding is not for the gods, it is for the self. If you cannot sit still with yourself in times of quiet, how will you sit with great wealth, with heavy responsibility, or with sudden change? Movement isn't always power. Often, it's just an escape from our own inner state. Stillness, on the other hand, is a kind of declaration. It says to the universe, "I trust life, I trust myself. I do not need to force, or grasp, or chase." That is why the masters do not shout their prayers. They breathe them. The master handed the student who prayed for wealth that single coin and said, "Your energetic vessel is too small and too cracked to hold more. A flood of wealth right now would break you. First, learn to treat this one coin with the respect and gratitude you would a great treasure. Learn the energy of enoughness with this single coin, and then we will speak of more." This simple lesson reveals the next crucial step on the path. It is not enough to simply declare our fullness. We must learn how to become a worthy vessel for the blessings that arrive. And the art of preparing that vessel, of sealing the cracks in our own energy, is precisely what we will explore next. We left our student with a single coin and a profound teaching from his master. First, learn to treat this one coin with the respect and gratitude you would a great treasure. Learn the energy of enoughness with this single coin, and then we will speak of more. This wasn't a lesson about money, it was a lesson about energy, about capacity. and about the sacred art of becoming the kind of person who is truly ready to receive. This journey continues now. There is a saying in Chan Buddhism that goes, "When the water is clear, you can see the moon. Your mind is the surface of the water, the truth of reality, the blessings of the universe, the reflection of your own soul. These are the moon in the sky." But if the surface of the water is agitated, churning with desire, fear, and impatience, the reflection of the moon breaks into 1,000 frantic, distorted pieces. You cannot see its true form. It is not the moon's fault. It is the motion of the water that distorts the view. So, when you feel that inner urge to rush, to chase, to desperately fix and control everything, the Master's path is to do the opposite. Stop, sit, breathe, let the muddy sediment of your fear and doubt settle to the bottom. Let silence do the clearing, because true power doesn't arrive through frantic effort. It comes through alignment. It flows through a deep, undisturbed presence, and the one who can be still, even in the heart of uncertainty, becomes like the mountain, unmoved, steady, and open to everything the sky is ready to give. Saying, "I am already blessed," isn't just a declaration of power. It is also an act of profound surrender. It is a soft but powerful letting go. In that moment, you are not desperately reaching for the outcome. You are gracefully stepping back from it, releasing your white-knuckled grip on how you think things must be. And that very release creates a vacuum, a space for life to move, for energy to shift, for the blessing to find its way to you without being chased down. This is the great paradox that the ancient masters understood so well. The more you desperately cling to something, the more it slips away. But when you stop needing it, when you no longer believe your inner peace depends on getting it, that is precisely when things begin to arrive with an effortless grace. There is the quiet, unshakable strength in those who can walk through the world without begging from it. You can see it in the monk who sweeps the temple floor with complete, meditative presence. You can see it in the farmer who plants his seeds in the earth and then waits for the rain with trust, not anxiety. They act with their full being, but they remain unattached to the result. They know the outcome is not, and never was, theirs to control. One master once said, "True prayer ends in silence. It doesn't end in repeated, desperate demands, but in a deep and quiet trust. After the words are spoken, after the intention is set, after the breath is taken, there is only the waiting and the knowing that you have already aligned yourself with the outcome. When you declare, 'I am already blessed,' you are stepping fully into the power of the present moment. You are no longer bargaining with the future. You are no longer trying to convince yourself that you are lacking. This is not a magic spell. It is a fundamental shift in your being, a shift from tightness to ease, from chasing to allowing, and strangely, beautifully, that is when the doors you were once pounding on begin to open on their own. Not because you forced them, but because you finally stopped standing in your own way. Let the words rise from your inner stillness. Say them once, with the full conviction of your heart. Then, release the outcome, like a single leaf floating down a peaceful stream. The less you need it, the more freely it comes. The moment your fingers touch that lottery ticket, pause. Do not pause for luck. Pause for awareness, because it is never, ever about the numbers on the paper. Those are just symbols. The real spiritual practice, the real work, lies in what that simple moment reveals about you. In that pause, what do you feel? Do you feel a sharp spike of frantic hope? A heavy wave of anxiety? Do you hear a silent voice whispering, "Maybe this will be the thing that finally saves me"? That feeling, that whisper, that is where the real work begins. Not after the numbers are drawn, but in the sacred stillness before. The Shaolin path is not about grand gestures or dramatic, lightning bolt enlightenment. It is about finding mastery through precision in small, everyday moments. It is about consciously choosing presence over reaction, choosing breath over impulse. Every action is a mirror, especially the quiet ones we take when no one is watching. Buying a ticket seems small, forgettable, even trivial, but the energy you hold in that single moment speaks volumes to the universe. Are you acting from a place of trust or from a place of lack? From inner fullness or from a deep, gnawing craving? One master used to give his students a single coin each morning. He did not give it to them to spend, but to observe. He would ask them, "What did this one coin awaken in you today? Did it awaken greed for more, gratitude for what you have, anxious planning, or worry about losing it?" He would say, "This coin is not for food. It is for insight." That is the way of true spiritual training, using the mundane, everyday moments of life as your sacred dojo. Nothing is separate from the practice. So when you engage with chance, whether it is a lottery ticket, a risky business decision, or a silent, heartfelt hope, watch your inner posture. Do not judge it. Do not condemn it. Simply see it, because mastery begins with seeing clearly, with not flinching from what rises within you, with letting the moment show you where you are still clinging, where you are still trapped in fear. In the end, the numbers on the ticket may never align, but if your mind aligns with peace, with enoughness, with stillness, you have already won something far more valuable and rare. The world responds to the way you hold yourself in the small, unseen seconds of your life. That is where your energy shifts. That is where your true power begins to build. So, in the end, it is not about the lottery. It is not about luck, or chance, or numbers drawn from a machine. It is about the clean, coherent, and calm energy you can learn to bring to a single moment. Those 4 words, "I am already blessed," are not just something you say. They are something you must practice becoming. It is a daily ritual of stillness, a way of stepping into alignment before you ask the world to respond. Because the moment before you act, that is where the seed goes into the soil. That is where your state shapes your fate. Speak the words with your breath. Say them with your full presence. Let them quiet the desperate craving in your heart and anchor you in the deep, peaceful ocean of enoughness. And then, whether the ticket wins or not, you have already shifted something profound. You have trained the mind. You have practiced calm. You have moved like a monk, quietly, intentionally, and without grasping. That, my friends, is the real fortune. So as you move through your day, Do not wait for special, spiritual moments. Use the small ones. Buying a cup of tea, tying your shoes, reaching for your wallet. In each moment, ask yourself, what energy am I carrying right now? Because every moment holds the chance to choose mastery. The master's lesson to the student with the single coin was clear. A strong container, a calm mind, a steady breath, a clean heart can hold wealth without being shaken by it. Such a person will not panic when gains come, nor will they collapse when they go. They remain centered because they understand a fundamental truth. Money is not security. Presence is security. Chi, or life force, flows where it is respected. It flows where it is not hoarded out of fear or desperately war-hipped. It seeks openness, not desperation. So, before asking the universe for abundance, ask yourself these quieter, more important questions. Is my body calm? Is my mind clear? Is my heart honest? Because winning the lottery is not the real challenge. Many people win, but very few are prepared to hold what they receive without it destroying them. And in the end, it is not what enters your life that defines you. It is the quality of the vessel you have prepared to receive it. The journey we have explored today, from the simple act of buying a ticket to the profound stance of being already blessed, is a path of becoming that vessel. It is about sealing the cracks of fear and lack within yourself so that you can hold the blessings that are meant for you with grace, wisdom, and strength. This is the way of Shaolin Soulfire. It is a quiet path, a steady path, taken one breath at a time. To honor your own first step on this path today, I invite you to go to the comments below and simply write the 4 words that started our journey. I am already blessed. Let it be your declaration to the universe, your anchor in the storm, and your remembered truth. If these teachings have ignited a spark of recognition within you, gently tap the like button and subscribe to Shaolin Soulfire. We will be here, walking this path of inner mastery beside you, steady and silent. Thank you for your presence.